Okay, today we're going to introduce the Kingdom Animalia lab. This is the introductory video that I'm right now recording. And this I'll be recording during the coming week in the laboratory, just in case you can't make the lab. But that playlist doesn't exist yet. So if we clicked on here, we would see our lab. The lab looks pretty much the way our labs have always looked. Exercise 1, which I should indicate in the laboratory, might be shown as exercise 2, just because I've deleted an exercise that comes prior to this, and that might not have changed in the lab. Anyway, this consists of going through these various images that you're seeing on these pages and going to the various stations in the laboratory to try to match these images. That is, you're looking for organisms that look like this or look like this. At each of the stations, you're going to have the answers to, or the characteristics that you need to fill in these blanks that are shown here. So that's what phylum the animal is in, whether or not they have tissues, and if they have tissues, whether they're diploblastic or triploblastic. Whether or not they have symmetry, and if they have symmetry, whether they're members of the radiata or the bilateria, whether or not they have coelms, or if that's even applicable, and if they do have coelms, if it is applicable, then they could either be acoelomates or pseudocoelomates or coelomates, whether they're deuterostomes or protostomes, or if that indeed even applicable, whether or not they have backbones, and whether or not they have a notochord. So you'll be going through these various things, again, looking for the station of specimens that essentially have animals that correspond to these various things that you're seeing here. There'll be a second exercise, and this is on the vertebrate animals. The vertebrate animals are going to be in a separate location from the invertebrate animals, but there might be a little bit overlap that occurs at the end of the invertebrates. Again, this might be labeled as exercise 3 instead of exercise 2 because exercise 1 was deleted. Basically, exercise 1 was a bunch of videos. But again, there are going to be things that are sheets for you to copy from at the stations, and what you'll be copying are the various terms that are associated with the animals that you're looking at. Yes, there's a lot of redundancy in this, I understand that. You need to have something that motivates people to actually look at these things. As noted, although it says 2.0 and blah, blah, blah here, it may very well say 3.0 at the stations when you're looking at them. The way you're going to address confirming that you've done this is by taking a photograph or a screenshot and uploading that during the quiz. We've seen that before. So if you clicked on pre-lab, it would look like this, obviously, the way we've seen these things before. And the ones that you're responsible for, it'll say this video is explicit to the module, and there'll be questions after it. And you've seen all of this. And of course, there are more questions than videos rather than there are videos that you're responsible for. The playlist, so if you clicked on here, you would go to here. This is the playlist. It's very simple. There's 3 videos to watch. One of them, actually 2 of them, on entirely invertebrates, and then one of them that is on chordates, which includes the vertebrates. And then the quiz itself, it's just a standard quiz until you get to here. So there will be questions that are on the exercise number 1, and what they're going to consist of is asking about a certain characteristics. So which the following is a protostome, And you'll note that these images that you're seeing here, although they're in color here, they're not in color on your labs, can be found here. So you're going to be trying to figure out what these images correspond to, writing that down, and then that ultimately will lead to your answering questions that are based upon those things that you've written down, with the answers being the images. Ah, it's right there. Look at that, that you're seeing here. And on the lab exercise lab PDF itself. And then continuing onward, the last question, well, there it is. The last question is taking a screenshot or taking a photograph or whatever of your work regarding exercise 2, which might be provided as exercise 3. Just basically making sure that I can see that you filled all of that out. And that's what goes here. And I think that is basically it. So Kingdom Animalia, it is another in-person lab. It is the last of our in-person labs. And I will see you all on Monday or on Wednesday. And I've got a second screen set up here. So I'm going to try to stop this recording. Okay.